today in this video, I'll be telling you guys what I think Real Madrid's lineup should be for the remainder of the season in order for them to become successful and win the treble. Now, they're still in La Liga in first place by a couple points, but let's be honest, they ain't gonna win the Champions League. They have not beaten any good team this season so far. And one of the main reasons that it is because Carvajal is injured. And Carvajal is seeming to be the most important player, at least from last season. Because last season, he scored the opening goal against Dortmund. And last season, he was there for many important defensive occasions. And we have to go back and remember, last year, Real Madrid, they were a defensively solid team. And they looked like a typical Ancelotti team. But this year, with the addition of Mbappe and with the exit of Toni Kroos, Madrid's defense and midfield and attacking, the whole team has looked unstable. So we need stability in this team. But some important players are gone. So you can't do that anymore. So you can't just use the same squad from last year. And on top of that, Mbappe's here. So that means Jude Bellingham has to play another role. So whether we like it or not, this team is a lot different from last year. It's not the same team. And they can never be the same team. You can't have, especially with the most important player potentially the most important player, Toni Kroos, he's gone. If you ask me, I thought he should have been in the top 3 Ballon d'Or, but that's for another day. So, during the season, Madrid has been getting better throughout the season. They started the season trash, you know. In the beginning of the season, they were trash, but they started playing a little better. The good thing about Real Madrid, that is really the only hope that we can count on right now, is that they tend to peak at the end of the season. And that's the most important characteristic that a team can have. A team has to know when to peak. And honestly, it seems like the team's going on the right trajectory, because in the beginning of the season they're trash, and now they're decent. Even though they just lost to Barcelona 5-1 or 5-2, whatever it was, the team's still getting better. And Mbappe has started to play a lot better. So even though we're dealing with the injuries, and the injuries as bad as they were last year, they're worse this year. So the injuries are worse this year, and that has caused the Real Madrid defense to just be trash. Tchouaméni has not been working out as a defender. Lucas Vázquez is showing every bit of his age. He is trash. He is Real Betis level right now. So there's some important decisions that Ancelotti has to make, because this team is not working. This team's not cutting it. During the beginning of the season, after Carvajal and Militao's ACL injuries, this seemed like it was Ancelotti's preferred lineup. But because of a lot of criticism, this has started to happen. I don't have Raul Asensio's card in here, so I'm just going to use Marco Asensio. But the team has been calling for Castilla's players to start playing, and Asensio's done a decent job. Now that Alaba's back, we're going to see what's happening, because although people are saying he's good and we need a Castilla's players, I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't been impressed with Raul Asensio's performances. He's a hothead. It seems like he's trying to be too much of Sergio Ramos, and there's been instances where that's gotten Madrid into trouble. Madrid almost got out of the Copa del Rey because Marco Asensio couldn't control his temper, and I believe he did a stupid decision causing that penalty. I don't think Marco Asensio is the answer necessarily for this team right now. I think if Alaba could be back to the standards that he was before his ACL injury, then that's the decision to make. Alaba has to start in this team. Recently, for whatever reason, the player that has started making their way into a starting 11 is Dani Ceballos. And we're looking for that Toni Kroos replacement. It seems like Ancelotti thinks that Dani Ceballos is that type of player. And he is a creative type. He is a good creating type of player. But I also don't think he's the answer. How old is he now? 27? I think him and Marco Asensio, who went to PSG, are the same age. And they're at one point the future of the Spain squad. But they didn't turn out to be the players that we all thought they were. Dani Ceballos is an average player, I think. I don't think him being in the starting lineup is a good reflection of the current status of Real Madrid. But this seems to be what Ancelotti likes, and it's been working out because Mbappe has been playing his best football since he got to Madrid, or since really the last year and a half. You know, Rodrigo has been balling out, Vinicius has been balling out, but Rodrigo has been playing better, you could say, than Mbappe and Vinicius. The past couple of performances, it seemed like the star player of the team was Rodrigo, and I don't think that's what we want. It's good that we have that type of player that can just bail the team out. It's good that he can make these Neymar-esque performances. But the team having Rodrigo as their star player is a team that's misfiring. You can't have Rodrigo as your star player. And unfortunately, I think in order for this team to become what they need to become, something needs to happen. And it's not going to be a good look. I'm going to tell you guys my opinion. And I know this is controversial, but I think this could work. So instead of a 4-3-3, Instead of a 4-3-3, you switch it to a 4-1-2-1-2, like last season. Now, as I said before, this team is a very different team from last season. Nacho's not here anymore. You know, Nacho, he would make those substitute performances, and he would always overperform. And he was kind of the dark horse of the team. He never really got the praise that he should have, but he did an outstanding performance. I don't know if you guys remember that performance against Erling Haaland where he basically little broed him. He little broed Erling Haaland, some dude that's like 6'5". He has the stature of freaking Ibrahimovic. And Nacho put him in his place. And they took on a prime Man City, and they were able to keep him from scoring inside the box for 180 minutes besides a stupid little rebound. But Madrid defensively had a very good performance. And I believe it was partly because of this lineup. Because everyone knew their role. And part of this role was that Rodrigo and Vinicius didn't really have to track back. And the false 9, who was Bellingham, was tracking back, but he was still able to make those number 9 runs. So as I said, unfortunately, you can't drop Mbappe. You can't drop Vinicius. But you can drop Rodrigo. So I think Bellingham has to go back and play that false 9 position. And Rodrigo, I'll get to Rodrigo. But Valverde has to go back as in the midfield, holding midfield. The holding midfield is really between Camavinga and Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni is more of a specialist in that position. So I think Tchouaméni has to be the holding midfielder of this team, because Camavinga, he loses the ball a lot, and I know Tchouaméni does too. But I think Tchouaméni reads the game better than Camavinga. Camavinga is a really good 1v1 defender, as in like he knows how to stop people 1v1, but it always seems that he finds himself out of position. I think Tchouaméni is a better fit for this center defensive midfield. I think he's kind of made for this role, and he's really the closest thing to prime Casemiro that current football has right now. So as I said in my other videos, I don't see Camavinga starting in this lineup. This is the tricky side. Rodrigo, as I said, there's no space for him. Unfortunately, if he's outperforming these two players, or these three players really, then something's gone wrong. So I think Adra Gular has to start it. This has to be... Oh, no. Hold up. And I forgot about this. This is another... I'll get back to this. Adra Gular has to be in this midfield to work. Adra Gular is a creative type of player. You know, he's got it in him. We all saw what he did in the Euros. He was cooking. We all saw what he did at the end of last season. So he's a player that has it in him. And there's been times when you see him play, he has an eye for goal. He's a creative type of player. He could play this midfielder position, although for whatever reason, Ancelotti likes to put him as a right winger. I see him more as a midfielder, and I think he has a lot of good creative talents. But Lucas Vasquez has to get out of this defense. And then Camavinga has to get in here. And I know this is crazy because Valverde is good at defending. He tracks back. He could fulfill this right back position. And I know it's much different than what he's always done. And he's played in this position before. And I think in the past couple games, we've seen that Ancelotti's not trusting Vasquez. Vasquez has not been up to par for the past couple years now. He's been able to put in the game or two, yeah, but he's been on fraud watch for a while. And this year, I think he's made it to the fraud list. And he doesn't deserve to be in this team anymore. Valverde can fulfill this role for this one season, because Madrid needs a right back. And I always said too, even after Trent comes, which Trent will come, that's for sure, he's not the Carvajal substitute that we all want. We need, this team needs a defensive type of player. The thing about Carvajal is that he was the actual best right back in the world. The past 10 years, he's been the best right back, but no one likes to praise his name. But I think because of his stature or whatever reason, because the world has gone to become Prem merchants, but Carvajal has been the best right back. So I think Trent coming in here and fulfilling this role, he's going to get exposed. And we're going to see who the actual greatest right back of the past 10 years has been. So anyways, yeah, I think this is the lineup that Madrid should go for the rest of this season. Tell me what you guys think. I know it's a little controversial, but Treble is the future. Ceballos is not the future. And Vasquez can't defend for shit. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll be out.